Hey everyone. So this week I'm going to be going over chapter 6 from the textbook, which is the biological development in adolescence. So the textbook talks a lot about how to define adolescence and what age and what transitional period constitutes adolescence. Some societies also have specific rites of passage for adolescence or events that happen that mark the transition from childhood into adulthood. So there's a lot of things that are going on biologically with adolescence that include puberty, growth spurts, lots of sexual development as well. And so that's going to be probably the main focus of the textbook, is some of these biological reactions in puberty. So there's a lot of body image and self-concepts that happens in puberty. Although before puberty, levels of depression among girls and boys are similar, during adolescence, girls are more likely to experience depression. So the textbook talks a little bit about that in terms of puberty and girls versus boys. The textbook talks about late and early maturation in girls, brain development during adolescence, adolescent health and substance use and abuse. So this is particularly interesting. My husband is a 6th grade science teacher, and they have had this past year a huge problem with vaping in their schools. And so that's definitely something that is happening, in my opinion, at least younger and younger. And so there's definitely something to, that's definitely something to consider when you're working with this population. There's also some significant issues and life events that are going to happen because adolescence is a period of sexual development. Sexuality is going to be emphasized within this chapter. So a major trend characterizing adolescent sexual activity from the 1950s to 70s was a dramatic increase in teenagers having intercourse. So the United States has one of the highest, if not the highest, rates of teenage pregnancy in the Western industrialized nations. There are several risk factors that can lead to potentially teenage fathers, and that includes living in an inner city, doing poorly in school, being poor, and being involved in delinquent activities. So the textbooks also go into quite a bit of detail about why teens get pregnant and the use of contraception and the changes that have happened in terms of contraception use over the past couple of decades. The textbook is also going to talk a lot about sexual education by parents, current policy and sex education programs, abstinence only before marriage sex education programs, comprehensive sex education programs, and then empowerment through sex education for Native Americans. So the textbook is going to go through each of these with you. As you're reading through some of these, I want you to think back to your own sex education experience. What was that like? Did you learn about it in school? Did you learn about it through your parents? Did you learn about it through your peers, kind of thing? So think about your own experiences and how that might compare to some of the experiences that teens are currently getting. The textbook is also going to go into quite a bit of detail about contraception. And, especially with adolescents who may not have enough information about contraceptions and making responsible decisions about them. So the textbook talks about how over 99% of American women ages 15 to 44 who have been sexually active have used at least one type of contraceptive method. So it's going to go into detail about the different methods. So this is some great information for you guys to have for your own information, as well as for potentially practice information that you're going to be having with teens and adolescents in the future. So I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much.